This is our first loan and lease accounting problem. I have mailed this workbook long back to you. Please check your email. So it consists of 4 solved problems from your book and 5 unsolved questions. I will try to solve everything. Like payroll, we will do it one by one and you'll have to mail me the sheet. This is the question. A borrowed a loan of rupees 1 lakh for a period of 5 years to be repaid in equated quarterly installment at an interest rate of 15% per annum. So यहाँ पे clearly things are given very directly, ठीक है? And we are supposed to prepare a loan repayment schedule. ये जो शीट है इसको लोन रीपेमेंट स्केड्यूल कहते हैं. वहाँ पे हमने पेरोल स्टेटमेंट्स बनाया था, यहाँ पे वी आर मेकिंग लोन रीपेमेंट स्केड्यूल्स, राइट? So the amount, loan amount is 1 lakh, right? It is given directly, period of 5 years. The period is 5 years, right? Quarterly installment. So periodicity, quarterly means it's 4. I will show it here. See, bi-monthly means 6, half yearly means 2, monthly means 12, quarterly is 4 and yearly is 1. So quarterly है हमारा installment, मतलब एक साल में 4 बार आप पे करोगे, राइट? दैट इज पीरियोडिसिटी. जैसे हमारे पास पीरियड और पीरियोडिसिटी आ गया, हम इंस्टॉलमेंट्स कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला टू कैलकुलेट इंस्टॉलमेंट्स? इट इज पीरियड multiplied by periodicity. I have mentioned this in the introductory video. Please go through it and make some notes. Right? 20 installments मतलब हमको 20 पेमेंट्स करनी है to wind up the loan. Right? नेक्स्ट, रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट इज 15% पर एनम. दिस इज पर एनम की रेट. हमको तो डिवाइड बाय 4 करना होगा ना, बिकॉज साल में हम 4 बार ही पे करते हैं. तो जब जो रेट हम अप्लाई करेंगे दैट शुड बी दिस रेट डिवाइडेड बाय 4. ठीक है. तो फर्स्ट इंस्टॉलमेंट का फॉर्मूला इज, you just write 1. The next installment, what will you do? You will run an if function saying that अगर ये वाली इंस्टॉलमेंट इससे कम है, टोटल इंस्टॉलमेंट से कम है, फिर आप एक ऐड कर दो. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इंस्टॉलमेंट पे जाओ, नहीं तो कुछ भी मत करो, स्पेस दे देना, है ना. व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज, अगर मेरी इंस्टॉलमेंट नंबर ऑफ इंस्टॉलमेंट से कम है तो आप एक ऐड कर दो, नेक्स्ट इंस्टॉलमेंट पे जाओ, नहीं तो स्पेस छोड़ दो. I'll fix this and I'll drag it over. आप एंटायर शीट तक भी ड्रैग कर सकते हो. यहाँ पे मेरे को पता है बेस ही है तो इसीलिए हम ड्रैग इट टिल बेस. इफ यू सी, इफ आई एम गोइंग टू ड्रैग इट और फर्दर, यहाँ पे वेकेंट स्पेसेस आ रहे हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि दिस इंस्टॉलमेंट, द 21st इंस्टॉलमेंट इज नॉट लेस देन 20, राइट? दैट इज वाई एक ऐड नहीं हो रहा है, इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट स्पेस आ रहा है. इफ यू कुड सी, स्पेस आ रहा है, राइट? नेक्स्ट, लेट्स कैलकुलेट द अमाउंट ऑफ इंस्टॉलमेंट फर्स्ट. मैंने उस वीडियो में बताया इंस्टॉलमेंट अमाउंट कैन बी कैलकुलेटेड यूजिंग पेमेंट फंक्शन. व्हाट इज अ पेमेंट फंक्शन से? योर रेट इज दिस डिवाइडेड बाय पीरियोडिसिटी, है ना, कॉमा n पर इज द नंबर ऑफ इंस्टॉलमेंट्स. या तो आप इन दोनों को मल्टीप्लाई करके कर सकते हो, मल्टीप्लाई करके करती हूँ 4 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 5, या फिर सीधा ये वाला F4 वाला वैल्यू डाल सकती हूँ, कॉमा PV प्रेजेंट वैल्यू. Now I will always write my present value in negative so that my amount will be in positive. ठीक है. अगर इसको हम नेगेटिव से हटा रहे हैं, देखो क्या होगा. My answer is in negative, right? तो या तो मैं पेमेंट के आगे एक माइनस लगा दूंगी, नहीं तो माइनस प्रेजेंट वैल्यू डालूंगी. So what would be my opening balance? My opening balance, I told you, is the amount of loan, right? My interest कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे? You have been given one rate of interest per annum and you've been given periodicity. तो हर पीरियड का जो रेट होगा उसको हम ओपनिंग बैलेंस से अब मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे. दैट इज हाउ वी गेट आवर इंटरेस्ट. सो आई जस्ट डू व्हाट आई सेड, ओपनिंग बैलेंस मल्टीप्लाइड बाय जो रेट पर एनम दिया है उसको हर पीरियड के हिसाब से देना है, तो मतलब डिवाइड करना विद द पीरियोडिसिटी. सो बेसिकली दिस रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट इज फॉर द एंटायर ईयर and you're going to make 4 payments in 1 year. So that is why I divide my rate, I divide it by the periodicity and multiply it by the opening balance. This is my interest per installment. My installment will be same as this amount, right? And my closing balance ka formula is opening balance plus interest minus installment. This is for the first installment. For my second installment, my opening balance will be the closing balance of the first installment, right? So I can just drag this down. If you see here, this is E9, matlab closing balance of the second installment. Interest सबका same होगा. I'll just fix this rate and I'll fix this periodicity and then drag it. ठीक है? इंस्टॉलमेंट भी सबके लिए सेम होगा. एवरी इंस्टॉलमेंट में यही अमाउंट पे करोगे ना. राइट. क्लोजिंग बैलेंस का फॉर्मूला सेम होगा. ओपनिंग बैलेंस प्लस इंटरेस्ट माइनस इंस्टॉलमेंट. इफ यू सी दिस इज एन इंडिकेटर. मेरी लास्ट इंस्टॉलमेंट में माई क्लोजिंग बैलेंस शुड बी 0. When this is 0, it means that my loan is winded up, right? The closing balance of last installment should always be 0. Only then my loan is wound up, right? So this is all that you have to do in a loan repayment schedule. This table is called the loan repayment schedule. Let's go to the next problem now. The second question of loan and lease accounting is also very similar to the first one. एक difference है यहाँ पे they are asking for a generalized loan repayment schedule. Whenever the word generalized or automated comes, it means that if I'm going to make any changes in this document, in these data, in these inputs, my output should automatically change, right? For example, if I'm going to change my periodicity to bi-monthly or yearly or half yearly at any point of time, my output should automatically change, right? Which is why I use data validation tools. Data validation tools कब use करते हैं जब मेरे को एक ही शीट में सारे possibilities की output चाहिए, right? If I'm going to change this to half yearly, my output should change accordingly, but within this worksheet only. I don't want to make different worksheets for different possibilities of periodicity. So what I do is I go to this cell periodicity B5, go to my data tab, data validation. I create a list and जो source है वो ये होगा bi-monthly, half yearly, monthly, quarterly and yearly. I click OK. Now as per the question, quarterly data के लिए हमको करना है, right? So I need a value here. What value quarterly के लिए कितने periodicity है एक साल में, मतलब कितनी payments pay करना है आपको एक साल में. So we will use lookup function here. Pay lookup. What do you have to look up? Your lookup value is your quarterly. Where do you look this for? Over here in this table, comma, which is the column? The second column. यहाँ पे है हमारे answers, right? And I want an exact match. I got 4, right? बाकी it is same as the first problem. Serial number 1 as it is लिखेंगे, but पहले हमको installments calculate करना है. What is our installments? Period multiplied by periodicity. My period is 5 multiplied by my periodicity, which is C5, right? 20 installments. So serial number first one होगा direct. Second is if my previous installment is less than total number of installments, which I will fix it, then you add 1, go to the next installment. Otherwise, you just leave a space. I drag this over. राइट। यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी फॉर्मूलाज रन हुआ है इसीलिए आपको जीरोस दिख रहे हैं, ठीक है। माई ओपनिंग बैलेंस इज the amount of loan, right? I got that. What would be my amount of installment? My payment function, the rate is 15%. Like in this 15% is per annum, so we divide it by periodicity. NPER, period, multiplied by periodicity. What is my present value? This, which I will write it in negative. Right? Got this. Interest. How do I first delete all of these things? Let's calculate interest now. अब interest या फिर any other calculation करने से पहले we should make sure that यहाँ पे these things are numeric values, ठीक है। जो भी installment number numeric value होना चाहिए, ठीक है। If you remember, we learned about a function called count earlier, right? What does the count function do? It counts how many numeric values are there, right? Let's check. If I'm going to say count the entries over here, right? My answer is 5. It is counting only the numeric value. It does not count the text or any other value, right? So what I'm going to do is normal formula यहाँ पे apply होगा, लेकिन उससे पहले I will use an if function saying that अगर मेरी installment वाली cell, right, the count of installment cell is equal to 1, then I proceed with the formula. What is the formula? The formula is opening balance multiplied by your rate divided by, I'll fix this rate, divided by periodicity. I'll fix this too, right? This is my formula. अगर count numeric value नहीं है, 1 नहीं है, तो बस space छोड़ दो, ठीक है। I got my interest. If you don't apply the count function, if function, then also the formula is this and you get the same value. I'm just making sure that these entries are numeric and not non-numeric. For example, if I do this is vacant, right? Just undo. ठीक है? Installment is also the same formula, लेकिन यहाँ भी मैं if function लगाऊंगी. If count of the installment is equal to 1, मतलब एक न्यूमेरिक वैल्यू है तो ये होगा, ठीक है। नहीं तो स्पेस, कुछ भी नहीं होगा आंसर, राइट। क्लोजिंग बैलेंस अगेन, इफ count of this is equal to 1, then my formula is opening balance plus interest minus installment. Otherwise, it is space, nothing, right? My opening balance for the second installment is the closing balance for first, but I used if function again here. If count of this now is equal to 1, then my opening balance will be this, otherwise it will be space, right? I can drag this now. I can drag this too. I'll drag this. फिक्स नहीं किया ना हमने वो, इसीलिए वो ऐसे आ रहा है. Let's fix this. Let me fix B6. Now let me drag it. Right? See this. The indicator, the last value is 0, which means my solution is right, my loan is wound up. ठीक है? अब in this question they are going to they are telling us to calculate 4 other things as well, ठीक है, which is over here. What are they saying is compute the interest for any installment. I have taken 10th, you can take any number from 1 to 20, ठीक है। 20 से ज़्यादा obviously नहीं ले सकती हो, क्योंकि maximum number of installments is 20. So how do you calculate the interest for a particular installment? If you had seen the introductory video, you will know we should use IPMT function, which means interest payment function. What is your rate? My rate is this. I divide it by periodicity, comma. My per means the installment number. This is for the 10th installment, so I'm writing 10 here. N per is this period multiplied by periodicity, right? Comma. My PV. PV is the loan amount, right? Close, enter. It is in negative because PV के आगे हमने minus sign नहीं लगाया, right? Next is principal in 10th installment. I have taken 10, again you can take anything else, right? So what is the function? PPMT, open bracket, rate 15% divided by periodicity. Per is what? Installment number, which is 10. N per is period multiplied by periodicity. PV is minus 1 lakh, right? You also have to find out the cumulative interest for 5 to 10 installments. So I can use the CUMIPMT function. Rate, my rate is 15% divided by this. NPER is 20. PV is minus of this 1 lakh. What is my starting period? My starting period is 5. My ending period is 10. 5 से लेके 10 तक चाहिए ना मेरे को. And type is 0. This also I have mentioned in the video. Loan amount हमेशा end में देते हैं, month end में देते हैं, नहीं तो year end में देते हैं. तो इसलिए 0. Otherwise mentioned. If it is mentioned as second. Let me just calculate this again. IPMT. My rate is this. This is per annum, so I divide it by periodicity. My NPR is period into periodicity. I've already calculated it here. PV is my minus amount of loan. Starting period is 5. Ending period is 10. Type is 0 because my loan amount I'm paying it at the end of the period, end of the month or end of the year. I'm not paying it in the beginning unless मेरे question में पहले बता दिया कि beginning में pay कर रहे हैं. We will use 1. Close, enter. There is a mistake. What is the mistake? Negative हटा के देखते हैं. अब क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? NPR, P5, 10, 0. Instead of putting negative here, we can multiply it by minus 1. We're getting our answer now. I'm just rounding it off to degree. Okay, so what we did is यहाँ पे minus डालने पे we do not get the answer, so I'm just multiplying it by minus 1, right? Next, you have to calculate a cumulative principal for 5 to 10 installments. This also I've explained in the video. Principal rate 15% divided by my periodicity. NPR is period into periodicity, which I've calculated here. PV is this, comma, starting period 5, ending period 10. My type is 0. Enter, it is a negative, so I multiply it by minus 1. Right? So this is my second problem. Let's go to the third.